Okay, so we are back. Let's get this back going. And welcome back, Runner Man 5000. Birdhouse Kicks, Katrina Kicks. What's going on? Our guest should be here shortly. What's up, Carl? She Love Kicks 843. You know, hopefully we'll be up and going in a sec. So yeah, but just trying to get it going. Carl, I'm just trying to get like you, man. Just trying to get like you. Um, what you done cop lately? Hey, Katrina Kicks. It was a fun episode. You know, having you on the last one, it was great. It was great for the cookies work. Yeah, for sure. Kobe 8 off eBay. Okay, okay. Keandra, welcome back. Tez, what's going on? Hopefully our guest will be here shortly. JJF24, welcome back. Uh, yeah, so Gold Tank Dog, what's up, Kev? Trying to get you on here, man. You know, you just let me know when it's a good time for you. You know, just waiting for our guest. Okay, 313 Retro Queen. Just
Okay.
all right, cool.
Sorry about that. For some reason, it switched over to Wi-Fi. It wouldn't pop on. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's weird.
Gosh, is this a whole nother room?
Huh? No, it's the same room.
Woo! Man. Well, listen,
Yeah,
it is
same room.
a pleasure having you on here. I've been following you for some years now, so thank you for being here.
Of course, of course.
All right. Well, for those who are just joining, who don't know, tell everybody who you are, where you from, what you do.
Oh, hey, Hop. That's my bro right there. Hi, I am 313 Retro Queen. What's up, J Jeff? Um, I am from Detroit. One of the best cities in the nation. Hey. Uh, I know you would beg to differ over there with the Ohio thing, the Michigan rivalry, but Just saying, I'm just saying.
Well, I live in North
Um,
now, but I'm always an Ohioan, so no.
gotcha. I'm just collecting sneakers, man. Oh, you in Detroit right now? That's what's up. I'm just a regular sneakerhead, man. I'm a young girl doing her thing. Been collecting since I say really collecting since I was about 16. I've always been into sneakers, but really like getting into holding on to stuff and things like that. Probably about 16-ish around high school time. So, and that was some years ago. Like 96. So yeah, I was, when I was collecting, they weren't no retros. They was just the OGs. That's all I had then. So no retros. Didn't really kick it off. I don't really know where the name Retro Queen came from because, I guess starting all over everything is pretty much a retro now anyway. So I guess that's it. So yeah, that's the gist of it.
Yeah, man, I feel it. I'm the same, you know, from the same era, 96, 97. I remember when the first Jordan reissues in the mid 90s, like nobody messed with them. I got my Chicago's for $50. You know what I mean?
Right.
Still got that pair. But once the retros hit 99, everything changed. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I always ask, you know, my guests, what was the most positive thing you took from 2020?
Most positive thing I took from 2020. Um, I learned to slow down in 2020. You ain't really have a choice but to slow down, but um spending time with my kids, having them here, and everybody's like, oh, how would I do homeschooling and things like that? Like, you don't think about it, but when kids get to be teenagers, they're 16 around that time, that's when they gone. You don't see them as much, they out the house, they with their friends, and 2020 allowed me to spend literally every day with them. So, I don't know, just like the one thing I took was just slowing down and enjoying life, like enjoying the people that are around you that you can be around, because you can be around a lot of people. And, with my family being kind of tight knit, I just like that, with everybody working. My mom's a nurse, my uncle's an engineer, and things like that. They're so busy, that the only thing they could do was be here. So that was the one thing I took from it, just enjoy the people that you're around, because, it taught you. I lost some people during 2020. So, it taught you, enjoy them while they're here.
Sure.
That's it.
Sure. I got you. I got you. Okay. Before we get into the sneaker origins, I do have to ask you, with you being from Detroit, how many pairs of top tens do you have?
How many pairs of top tens do I have? I don't have a ton of them. I probably got about 20 some pairs of, maybe not even 20. I don't even think I have 20 pairs. Cause like I run through top tens. Being from Detroit, you just kind of, those are shoes I will beat to death. Okay. And then literally have to throw out. There is no saving those. So like right now, the pairs that I wear, I think there's about, let's see, that's, yeah, about 10 pairs right now I'm standing at. It looks like, yeah.
Now, I'm ashamed to say, because I've sold them at so many different jobs, that white, blue, and red one, I've never held that one. You know what I'm saying? I've never, yeah, I can't believe it.
That's like, you have to have a clean pair of those. That's the original. You got to have that. Like, I'm so mad because I got my nephew a pair. He's 1.5, and I got him for Christmas. And when they finally decided to try and put them on him, there were 2 right shoes in there. I almost cried. I was so upset. And until this day, I cannot find another pair for a kid that small. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm mad. So I gotta wait.
I've only seen them that small maybe once or twice.
Really?
Yeah, usually, like, I know they were really big. The job I was at in 2013, 2014, we only had them in men's in grade school. But I feel like the last job I had in Ohio before we moved down here, I was with Foot Locker. I was in like my 4th time working for them, on the side. And we had them, we might have had them for infants and toddlers then, like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, we get them here and they gone like that. Like they out of here.
Oh,
Hey, Mrs. Jones, kids, BAA, what's up?
yeah. I guess the reason I ask is because, I know that's y'all do. The Foot Locker I was at, we were kind of like part outlet, but still regular. So we would get a lot of stuff from Detroit and from New York that didn't sell. And we would just get a lot of random top tens, you know what I'm saying, in there. So that's even more reason why I really should have more than the one pair I have.
Man,
The one pair,
pair of top tens.
it's a low, so it's not even.
Oh, and it's a low top, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So,
Yeah.
well, see, the other thing was, I'll tell you, we both have a lot of sneakers. I'm cheap. Like, I be wanting them to be like $39.99, like the non-OG color.
Hey, I hear you. Okay.
Like,
I hear you. Like, I used to clean up before 2020 hit.
So yeah. But okay. Well, let's go to some sneaker origins. What was the first sneaker moment for you? Like, what started it? What kicked all of this off?
What kicked it off? Like, I mean, like the second time around, or like what really started it, like from the beginning? Because that's two different things for me.
Chronologically, let's start with the first and go to the second.
So the first thing is like growing up, my grandfather, like you'd have to meet my grandfather, like he's the best, but he's like this southern like workaholic guy. So, like for him, like you don't put anything trashy on your feet. Your feet are like your base. That's the important thing. They hold you up. That's it. So growing up, you would always hear, like when you got older, you would hear like, oh no, put some Nikes on her feet. Put some Nikes on her feet. So like he'd be like, put this on her feet, put this on her. So it really kind of started off with my grandfather just like not allowing trash to be on our feet. Like he didn't even like those little girly sandals with the flat and the hard bottoms. He that's gonna mess up her feet. That's gonna mess up her feet. Like so we always when you're around him, you gotta make sure you got something decent on your feet that's holding you up and keeping you grounded. So that's kind of where it came from. And then I stopped really collecting kind of more so when I became a mom. Like it was more so all about the kids really. So, you know, a lot of things I stopped doing myself and then I got married, so I stopped doing even more. You know, I would pick up a couple things here and there, but nothing like I am now. Really what jump started me really getting back into collecting heavy oddly enough was my divorce. Like I split from my husband, and like you know, like when you don't know, like when you're used to being mom or wife, you know, like your identity kind of your own personal identity kind of fades away some if you get caught when you get caught up in it. So that happened, and then like I just didn't know like who I was anymore, you know, and it was like I didn't know what I was like I don't know what I like to do. Like I need to have a life. I can't just throw myself like I was like when I say I was into whatever my kids were doing, I might as well have been on the field playing football. Okay, because I was like the team mom. I became part of the board, and it was like, okay, this is okay, but what am I gonna do after? You know, my son is in high school now. When he's done with that, you know, it was like, what am I gonna do? And then I think I went to Florida and that's when I went to Florida, and that's when I saw like one of the, you know, I was down there and I was checking. I was like, dang, they got a lot of Nike outlets down here. And you know, I got into checking it out, and then I think I was on Sneakers app when it first really kicked off, and it was in December, and that's when the ugly sweater dunks dropped. And I think like right around that time is when I was like, oh, I got this little feeling like I got my little got 'em or whatever. And I was like, oh, wait, this is what I've been missing. And then I was like, you know, I was like, oh, okay. You know, it was something that had dropped off and I didn't realize how much I had missed it until I don't know how that fly got in here, but it was gonna drive me nuts because I'm gonna chase him down today. But but yeah, when that happened, I just kind of threw myself into it, and then like I always kind of been like I ain't gonna say kind of I was super shy. So that's when I started like, okay, I'm collecting these shoes. I'm gonna share this with people on YouTube. I got this YouTube channel I didn't have for like, you know, you have a YouTube channel, but you just use it to watch other stuff, but you ain't really doing nothing with your own channel. It's just there because you gotta have it. So that was kind of like one of my deals. And I was like, I'm gonna use it. I was like, oh, probably people ain't gonna watch it, but you know, I'm just gonna share my sneakers or whatever. I like sneakers and it'll get me to doing stuff. And I kind of gradually got into doing more stuff from there, getting on IG and being more, you know, active on IG with my sneakers and things like that. And then jumping off into going to sneaker cons and meeting people and things like that. So it just kind of took on a whole life of his own kind of that I like this I never expected for people to be like, hey, you want to be on my, you want to do an interview, like me okay. Like so that's pretty much how everything kind of got to where it's at now.
Cool, cool. Nah, I'll say for me, well, what was the so what was the shoe?
The shoe that started off for me was the Concord 11.
Okay.
That was my shoe. I got a job at this little pizza sub shop doing like little short order cook stuff. And I was 15, and that was the first shoe I got with my own money. Like I didn't have to, but like I'm like a little ornery sometimes. So like my mom, she'll like no problem. I go get my shoes. She'll pay for my shoes. You know, I know people had this story where they grew up. You know, they couldn't get their shoes, kind of stuff like that. I didn't have that problem. I just always, you know, like my family just always instilled that working is important still. Even if you have things, you know, you still want to, you know, have your own. So like get my first pair and my own. It was the Concords. I never remember I got pizza sauce in them shoes. I cried and I cried. But yeah, the Concord 11, that was the one right there. That was it.
Yeah. Well, did you get the retro when it came out in 2000?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I remember when the Concord came out in 2000, it took like a week or two for it to sell out. You know, like
Yeah,
it,
it waited.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was like, yeah, you didn't have an issue like getting stuff like that.
Yeah, like the first Jordan retro, it was kind of hard to get the fours when they came out, but they were like limited without being limited. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that gray 11 in 2001 was the first time that it was like hard to get a Jordan, at least for me.
Yeah, I ended up only being able to get that from my did I got that for somebody else. I want to say it might have been my brother. I think I got it from my brother. Yeah, I didn't end up getting it. I got it from my brother. Yep.
Like people always talk about the NYC Pigeon Dunk being the first sneaker riot, but this was like 4 years before that. Like I saw a dude jump from the second floor to the first floor in the mall trying to get these shoes. Like I've never seen anything like that ever. You know what I'm saying? And this is before resale. This is 2001. They
I'm not jumping.
third, and he had to break his leg, but he got his pair.
That's crazy.
So like Burnhouse Kicks say, 11s were different.
Yep.
And then at the end of '01, when the black and reds first retro, they were like everywhere. Like they went on sale. Like they were.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
At,
It wasn't a big deal like that. Like I don't know if it was, it just wasn't as many. I mean, and you got the younger generation now getting into sneakers, so it's just more people. But it's almost like they ain't producing what they were before, and then like now the quality is like you know.
yeah. See, I think that they really, well, with the 11s, I feel like since the 72 and 10, they've kind of overproduced them. But I feel like they still hold pairs back just to, do restocks later. I really feel like it's still,
Yeah,
it'd be a million.
they sell out kind of, and then here comes a second chance at them and all that. Yeah, they definitely hold back and wait for the hype to build, and then drop some more. And yeah, definitely. I think that's happening a lot more now because of how often it happens. I mean, I guess late shipments and things like that, I guess if you want to call it late shipments. I don't know if that's what they blaming it on, late shipments, or Nike really holding them back and not sending them to the stores right off or whatever have you. But it's like you wait long enough, you'll get that shoe again for retail. So that's kind of been it now. I just kind of chill now.
Yeah, it's a few shoes that haven't come back, but mostly everything comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, staying along with the sneaker origins, and you being from Detroit, I've seen you post stuff with, like Pistons clothing. Is that was you, right? Your Pistons.
Yeah, I got some piston stuff, some tiger stuff. Yeah, a few little things in there. I don't know. Did I have pistons? Maybe. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? My forms and stuff. I got that with the Pistons, the bad boys. It's a whole different. Yep.
I have to ask you about that, before I go to my next question. Only because, people take pride in what they're from. Like I'm Cleveland with everything except basketball. I be wanting the Cavs to win, but I just was raised a Lakers fan, so Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar are still my favorite players. Michael Jordan will probably be after them. LeBron is in there somewhere, but does the sports or anything else influence your purchases, or is it just I like this shoe, so I'm gonna just get it?
Yeah, it all depends. Like I like that. We have local releases here for our forms and our top tens. So on 313 day, that's when the line's coming out and you can only get them at Snipes, things like that. So that drives that because they are linked usually to the Pistons. So with that, we have that. So that does drive like what I'll buy sometimes when those special releases come out. I'll definitely go after those. If I buy something that is sports related or whatever, I definitely will like buy a pair of kicks to match it. If I don't, even if I do have a pair already, I'll still buy another pair. But stuff like that. It doesn't drive what I buy, but yeah, I typically I do just buy like, oh, I like that, I'm gonna buy it. I'll worry about what I'm gonna wear later.
I feel it. Now, just in your opinion, of the sports teams, who owns Detroit?
Detroit Pistons, I think is still owned by Dan. Wait, Dan
No,
Gilbert
no,
is. Wait, what?
no. I don't.
Oh,
Like,
you don't mean the
I'm,
owner.
I'm. Nah, like who owns it? Like what team matters the most there?
For sport, like what? Detroit is one of those things where all our sports are the shit. Like everybody, everybody like, okay, when it's the Piston season, we own the Pistons. When it's hockey, it's hockey. When it's like we come out for all of it. So like it's really big. Like the tattoos of all of them on there, and like yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, just Detroit sports period, and our colleges. So people are big. They're big on sports here.
See, all right, since you know I'm 40, I've only got to see one Cleveland championship. You know, when the Cavs won in 2016. It was big. It was a big deal. But I always say the Browns and the Indians, since they're so much older than the Cavs, it would have been an even bigger deal if they would have won. Because the
Right.
Browns were first in Cleveland. As bad as they've been, they're still first. So I didn't know if the Lions were first or if it was the Pistons or, you know, if one team kind of owned the city like that. But, you know, if you say it's even across the board, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he talking about I'm representing, but Detroit teams ain't shit. You better be quiet before I drag you to a Pistons game. If we know that, you gotta represent. You gotta still show your pride. You know we ain't doing nothing.
Brian took y'all down single handedly in 2007.
I mean, I'm just saying that wasn't that hard to do.
That team I had, the '04 champions, that ended my Lakers with Shaq and Kobe, that was a tough beat. So y'all had
Yeah, we ain't had nothing that was topping that at all.
you know,
It,
so what did y'all have?
we just playing because it's a game for people to have for a season. Most
Right.
of the time, and like when it comes to the Lions, we'll be up, but we gonna always find a way to lose in the second half. That's just the way it is. That's our stilo. That's what we do.
All right. Well, it's good to see that you know about it. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to incorporate different things into the show. So that's why I
Oh
figured
yeah.
I'd ask you about the sports. But
Like I used to sit on the porch. Like my grandparents, my grandmother, her sister is here as well in Detroit, and they literally stay in like not even 3 minutes from here, from us. So like we would sit on the porch with this small little black and white TV in the summer times, and they would watch the baseball games and stuff like that. Or you know when they would come over and we're in the house, they watched the Pistons, and you know my grandma, the sorry ass Lions, she called them, but she got her sweatshirt on and she watching them faithfully all the time. So our
yeah.
house is big on sports. So yeah, we that's what we do. So yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I know that y'all still have Mr. Allen's, right?
It is now Snipes is
Okay.
Mr. Allen's. Yep.
We had it in Cleveland for a couple of years, but it didn't really hit in Cleveland like it did, like it has other places. So for us, that was supposed to be the place where you could get Air Force Ones. They were really big on Air Force Ones. Since it's turned to Snipes, is it any different or is it the same?
It's pretty much the same since it's been Snipes. I think that's me. Trying to figure out what I did with my charger here. I don't know. But that might be it. But no, I mean, like I said, when they come around, it's really big for when we have our releases of the Adidas and things like that. They're really big for that. They do have like I said, it's a more of a local, so I guess people here are used to it being Mr. Allen's, and when we go get the 2 for $50 or whatever they used to do, like so yeah, man, they used to have that going on. So, you know, like back in the day, Miss Allen's ain't like it is now. Well, Snipes, but like it is now. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd be like, you go get you a deal at Mr. Allen's. That's what you can do over there. But yeah, it's pretty decent. Yeah, I would say it's a big deal here. Yeah, especially since they have more exclusive stuff like a Foot Locker would get now and things like that. So just a sec. Hey, babe, can you grab my charger? Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry about that. I'm asking him to grab my phone charger out of there. Okay. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it.
Oh no, I just think like, you know, it's like I said, with the releases of the forums and things like that, that's a big driving force here because no other place, you know, Foot Locker doesn't get them that day. Nobody, a 313 day, you got to be at Snipes. That's where you got to be. It don't go nowhere else. I don't care what else releasing that day. I'll be on my phone working on that one, or somebody maybe with a bot or something. But but yeah, you got to be in that line. You got to be there because that's what it is.
Okay.
Hey, Bootsy, baby.
How many? So okay, we got a question from my boy Carl. How many pairs of shoes do you have? Do you know?
Um, I know a roundabout number, and it's closer to what I'm saying. I think right now I'm probably sitting at about 420 ish, 430. But that's just since, and I only know that because I have an Apple phone and I have the Unboxed app. So if y'all know how to unbox that, try that out if you got an Apple phone.
Yeah, definitely. I got that. The white
Yep.
guy. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I love it. It helps me now that I've actually finally been able to catalog all my sneakers in there, I've been able to post more and like I just kind of flick it and then I pick a sneaker and then I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm wearing this today. Because before I would be like, okay, not this one. No, I'm not ready for that one. Not this one. Not that one. Not this one. Not this one. Again, not this one. The green one plugged in the wall. But yeah, that's how I kind of pick what shoes I'm wearing now.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, that's a lot. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Well, um, you being from Detroit, we touched on Mr. Allen's. Back in the day, you know, you've been copping since the original 11. Where was your favorite place, kind of 90s, early 2000s, to get the kicks? Was it Mr. Allen's or was it somewhere else? Or
I used to go to the mall. Like I would go to the mall, I hit the mall, like I hit Fairlane Mall. That was the spot to be. And that was like the closest mall to me. So I would go to Fairlane Mall and I go in there and I do like I just go like it's a school day. My mom like, call my mom, call to school, tell them I'm gonna be late. My mom gonna shoot me to the mall, then I run to school and do that. Or then, when I got my car, of course she was late for school that day.
I
So
think
you
it's
running in the mall. We didn't have those age limits then, where they'd be like, oh, you just before a certain time, these kids can't get in here after a certain time, all that. They ain't have all that. So like the mall used to be jumping. You had so much stuff. They were so much more vibrant than they are now. So yeah, malls are falling off now. So yeah.
like, in Cleveland, we never recovered from losing our sneaker mall because
Mm.
Randall Park Mall, at one point, it was the biggest mall in the world. Then it was the country. Before Malls of America, this is early 80s, so it's wow since it's had this.
Right, right, right.
Uh,
Cuzzo Clothing, what's up? Retro Rico, what's up, bro? Got that baby cooking.
yeah, but the sneaker malls is everything, and I miss those days of getting up on a Saturday, like getting a fit together, go cop the sneakers, try to get girls' numbers. You know,
Yep.
that's what it's about. So I miss those days. But
Yeah.
now, don't look at me crazy. People always look at me crazy when I ask this question, but where's your go-to place to get sneakers now?
The internet.
Just any
There's nothing you can walk in the store and get anymore. You can't walk in the store and get any of this stuff. So um normally I'll do like, the raffles with Foot Locker and stuff like that. Sneakers shows me no love whatsoever. So, normally if it's not that, then I'm pretty much buying something. If it's something I really, really want, then yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll spend extra money. I'll do a resale here and there or whatever. But yeah, but normally if I try to stay away from, StockX, go, I'll buy from them very, rarely, but I try to patronize people who are that I know. You got Retro Rico, he sells shoes. Drama the Manager, they sell shoes. And then Sneaks four, I'm sorry, 8843, he sells shoes. So I am not a baller. Stop putting false information in there. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'll say it again.
I said 420 pairs. That's a lot.
I mean, but it's been a minute. It's been a minute. I ain't do this like overnight.
Like I have the Unboxed app. I got a lot of my shoes on StockX, with the portfolio, but yeah, I only got a few on Unboxed, so I really need to get on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I saw StockX has one on there where you can add them on there, but I think like a lot of my shoes I couldn't add on there because I guess if they don't catalog them, then you don't get them. Where they can't be added on there. So I was like, yeah, screw it. I kind of stopped doing that one, and then you don't interact with other people. Like now with Unboxed app, you can add friends and see what people are rocking that day and things like that. So and I like being able to put in my my dates and all that other good stuff, and my little notes on the side or whatever. I put it in all that. So if I got it from StockX, I'll put a StockX next to it, so I know if something shiesty happened with that sucker, I remember where I got it from.
Sure.
So yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. Um. All right. That's fair. That's fair. The internet. That's kind of been my go-to. There haven't really been many sneakers coming out that I've wanted, like really wanted. So I've been more on the reach back mode, kind of.
Yeah.
So I want to say, I will say, sneakers did give me exclusive access to Travis. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but other than that, the Lightning Four, trying all the way back to extra sixes, and I didn't even really want them. I just happened to win them. You know what I
I
mean?
think the last time I got exclusive access was on the Fire Red Force back in November.
Mm. It,
But I was so disappointed in that shoe. I think maybe my little rant, and that's why they was like, "Oh, you don't appreciate it? Fine then."
yeah, I was disappointed too because one of the shoes looked great and the other one was just kind of, eh. But
What's funny about that is, I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. There we go. What's funny about that is, I have pre-ordered that shoe, like I want to say 2018. It was rumored to drop, and I think I got it with Zeta Kicks. That's where I got that one from. And I had, there were some rumors to drop, and you could get them and use the discount code. And then, they didn't end up dropping. You could, wait or whatever. I think there's like a 10-month grace period where you can get a refund after it if they don't end up dropping or whatever. And I just said, forget it. And I just kept my money kind of, if you want to call it, in their little stock market or whatever over there. And I was like, oh, they'll drop eventually. And I didn't really think nothing of it. And then, so when I got the pair from Nike, and I was disappointed in that pair because it looked horrible. I literally had to send it. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That shoe was going back. But I got my pair from them, and it was like they came from two totally different places. It was crazy. Like I was okay with it. I was okay with it. I was still disappointed about the whole overall situation because I thought I was gonna have two pair, but I ended up sending that pair back. But yeah, I think I still got two pairs that never actually dropped that I'm still holding. I still got them over there holding money. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want no smoke when it come to these ones when they finally do drop. So let that ride over there. And I definitely can't beat the price that I paid for it. So I'm like, screw it. I ain't really worried about it. I waste more money than that on crap that I Starbucks. So
got you. Well, what's the biggest adjustment that you've had to make with sneakers post pandemic?
um the biggest adjustment has been controlling my spending, like, because like you don't have nothing else to do, you can't go nowhere. Like post pandemic, it was just kind of like, oh well, let's just buy more shoes, let's just go buy. Like I work from home now, so I'm like, I don't spend no money on gas, and I drive a Tahoe, so that sucker was eating up some gas. And it takes me probably about 45 minutes to get to work back and forth. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, hold on. What am I doing? What am I doing? You just like, you get bored, you don't have nothing to do. It's my go-to thing. Drop back. There's nothing really to buy. There's new releases. Then I'm like picking up stuff. I had to control all that. Like it had me doing some crazy spending during that time. So I was like, oh, slow your roll before your kids don't have no bedroom and they can't breathe because of sneaker boxes.
I feel it. Well, here's a question from Burn House Kicks. What's your favorite 15 or later Jordan?
I do not own anything after a 14. I have one pair of 14s. I don't own anything after that. But if I have to say, um, I really don't even know.
For me, it's the 18. I love the 18
You know what? That trophy room, I want to say it was the 16 that dropped. That was a really dope shoe. Huh?
with the blue one with like the look.
Yep.
Those were nice.
With the shroud on. Yeah, that was a dope shoe. That was a dope shoe. Of course, none of that stuff comes in my size, but that was a dope shoe.
All right, now that leads me to my next question. What size are you?
6. So if you want to call it a 6 men or 6Y, whichever way it go, they both the same. But Yeah, I'm the dreaded six that nobody can ever hit on. That's it. I don't know what it is with that size, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, got another question from Gold Tank Dog. Have you ever been into custom shoes?
I haven't gotten a custom for myself. I have gotten one for my son. It was a birthday gift for him. Word Customs did it for him. She took a pair of black. Oh, they're not in here. They're probably in his room. They're a pair of just regular black Converse, and his favorite game was Fortnite. And she decked them out for him. They were so sweet. She even custom. I didn't even know she was gonna do this, but she customized a shoebox for him, and she made him a T-shirt to match it and glow in the dark. Like the shoe even it glowed in the dark. Like
I
his shoe was it's sweet. He still has it. Like I'm never getting rid of that shoe, but he can't fit it anymore. But yeah, there's some stuff I have had in mind that I wanted to get done. Like the Warhawks, the 90s, those they're probably never gonna they're never gonna retro. So I was thinking of maybe grabbing an all white pair of 90s and maybe having her do those up for me. But as far as customizing, I'm not really a super imaginative person. So I'd probably be like, hey, give me something special for my birthday. What you want on it? I don't know. You the artist. Make it happen. So, but yeah, they're very interesting though. People can do some crazy stuff with customizing, like
yes.
some sweet stuff.
Yeah. For me, I like customs, but more so on the Nike ID or Converse by You side.
Uh-huh.
They're making it. I've done some customs myself because I'm a bit of an artist.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you saw, they're supposed to make the black and blue 13 into a mid next year. Have you seen that?
Yep.
I did that years ago with a Flint, where I always thought it would be cool if the Flint 13 was black, where it had the black toe, but it was still gray with the blue, but with black pods and a black toe. So I
Oh,
actually,
okay.
years ago, but I didn't use the right paint. I should have used the matte paint, so it was kind of shiny, and I ended up selling it. Somebody thought it was cool and bought it, but
Hey,
yeah, I
that's
feel
dope.
like any Retro 13, those are all just samples they never came out with.
That's dope. Probably. I don't think I own a, I like to call them more lows because a 13 is really kind of like a mid to me kind of anyway. But yeah, I don't own any of the lower cut 13s. I don't know. What did you say?
What's your collection consist?
Oh, a lot of my collection, I say the majority are Jordans and 90s. And if you want to get more specific, I probably have more ones, Jordan ones than I do anything. So yeah, that kind of like with the trend of those becoming more and more like I got into them, after I think I was like just going through a thing, and then I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna start here, start at one and collect up to this. And then when I started broadening things like that, it just kind of took off on its own. And like a one was something I could always find in the outlet too. So and you could always have all these colors and things like that. So and I'm not one of those people who favor highs over mids or anything like that. So I do collect mids. I love them. I don't know, maybe it's because I got a smaller foot and I'm only 5'1". So yeah. Maybe that's part of it.
I think that part of it too, because I had a status that the shoe game reposted, I think last year or maybe earlier this year. I said if you were in the Jordan ones before 2011, you don't mind mids. You know what I'm saying? Because they were all mids at one point.
Right.
Like the '01 series, if it wasn't the Japans, they were mid. I have
Mid.
okay, yeah, like these are kind of beat up. So, but like these are my '01 real.
Right.
That is a mid. You know what I mean? Like I like that from '85 with this oxidation, but I just
But
oh,
and that's what a lot of people don't realize too. Like that high cut didn't come around for a while.
ah,
So
have been gone, or they would be limited in Japan.
yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And people didn't like them. I mean, they were like, "Oh, those are just all the way too high," and now all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, wait, those are too low." I don't get it.
about the young
Okay.
I talk to about sneakers, I tell them, man, up until 2000, between 2011 and 13, when ones got cool, before it, people used to treat ones like they treat twos.
Right.
You know,
But I love it too. So twos are so comfortable to me.
yeah,
So
old dudes and sneakerheads. That's all who.
right.
I'm saying you old, but you know.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be 41 in a couple weeks. So, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
So
I'll be
thank you.
in December, so we both in
Okay, okay. So yeah, we 80s baby. Okay. Born in the 80s. In 1980 actually.
yeah.
So
No,
yeah, I just I don't know, I always just if I like it, I'm gonna buy it. The hype doesn't drive what I like. So it's kind of like I can't buy what everybody else like if I don't like it because it's just gonna sit there
yeah.
regardless. So I'm never gonna wear it. And it's like, oh, okay. I got a shoe now sitting over here. Well, not because everybody liked it. I don't know if anybody liked it, but I bought it and I was like, oh, that might be kind of sweet. Then I got it. I was like, I hate this shoe. Okay.
I'll ask you later, but I got you. I got you. Now, with you being a lady, do you feel like it's any challenges or extra challenges you feel like you encounter as opposed to us men in the shoe game? You feel like there are any extra challenges or extra things you have to deal with being in the sneakers?
As far as being accepted, yeah, as a real sneakerhead. What's up, K November? As far as being accepted as a sneakerhead, I think it's harder for people to do that without some kind of validation from a man, like men in the community. Like, if you're when you just come into the game, and not even just coming into the game, when you're just stepping into maybe like the social media light of it, I think that can be difficult if you're not a typical, like if you're not the, oh, here's a bikini and I'm wearing a pair of Jordans, kind of deal. If you're not showing yourself off, you're not made up or things like that, I think it is a little harder for people to get into it because people are looking at the female aspect of it more than they are what your interests are as a sneakerhead, from your sneakers kind of. So, and I'm not saying like all people are like that, but with it being a male driven hobby, it's kind of like they'll accept what they, want to accept. If they don't, then, it's kind of like that's where people fall by the wayside. But you see it a lot, but you know, you got to kind of just, if it's your passion, that can't drive your passion either. Whether people are accepting you or not is neither here nor there. If you love it, you love it,
Okay,
type of deal.
gotcha. Now, I have to ask this, and I don't want you to get upset at me asking you this since you've revealed to me your shoe size, but do you feel like with you being a grade school size, it's better or worse?
Now it's worse. It used to be better. It used to be to where I could pretty much get whatever I wanted, but now it's like like I said, it's almost impossible. And then like for the resale prices, it's like astronomical in prices. Like I'd never think that I'd be paying $300 for a pair of ones. Like, dude, I just got 20% off and got these ones for $29.99. You mean to tell me now I gotta pay this? Like, yeah, it's crazy. I think now it's just about impossible. Like, I realized that sometimes a six is not even available for some sneakers, even if they do that 3.5 to whatever high men size they want to do. Literally, a six is non-existent. So, literally, some shoes I've been trying to get now, I don't even go for a six. I'll go for a 6.5 because, and then I'll be like, oh, if I hit, then I got to just put in a sneaker shield or something to keep it from bending because a six is so rare of a shoe that they make now. I have no idea why, but I don't know. People were telling me they're like, oh, it's because over in Japan that's a popular size and smaller feet and this, that, and the other. I'm like, yeah, but what that got to do with over here? So,
Yeah, no,
but yeah.
I got you. I only say that because I do feel like there are, now again, this is me saying this having been a manager for Foot Locker, Foot Action, Hibbett, um, DTLR, this other place in Cleveland called Exhibition or Next. I've worked at a lot of shoe stores, and y'all be getting some fire ass grade school only colorways. Fire
Yeah.
women get the best Air Max colorways, and since you could do both, that's why I figured I'd ask you. Do you feel like it's better?
And it's now that men are more comfortable with knowing they have a women's shoe, and if it comes in their size, and I think just with resale now, it's like people will just buy anything now. They'll just buy it up, even if it's not their size or whatever. People aren't just buying to wear shoes anymore. They're buying to sell them. They could care less. A lot of people could care less about the shoes. It's making them a profit. So with that, that's when I have to tend to wait on some stuff and see what it's going to do. Like an Air Max 90 will sell out, but then if you go to the resale market a month later, you can buy it for under retail. So it's kind of like with that, you can find them still if you wait. Like that's kind of it. You got to have patience now with like I find with my size, I got to just be patient
Yeah.
pretty much. And I'll catch it eventually.
Okay. Okay. Burner House Kicks had asked, do you collect any other player models besides Jordans? I see those Penny Twos right there.
Yeah, I got some other stuff around here. Not very much. I do have some pennies. I got, phone posits, pennies. I got a couple pair of LeBrons. I'm not huge on LeBrons, but just because like I said, they kind of they're kind of big. So, and like I said, I'm short, so if you run around with some big old shoes on, they kind of heavy. So, not all of them, but like I was a big fan of the 17, 16, 17. Those are really nice. Is that it? 16? I think it was 16. Yeah, it's over here somewhere. I have everything like up tempos, if you want to call them the Pippins. Yeah, a couple of different things, but not many. Like I don't have any Kyrie's. What else? Let's see. Do I have any? Nope. Kobe's. Nope. I wasn't a fan of Kobe like that with his shoes. I didn't jump on the train when he passed away and just decided all of a sudden I like them all. Nothing like that. I kind of stick to my guns on that. I did have one pair that I got my son a while back, and I kept them because I really loved them. And that was like the only pair that I really liked. They kind of had like a reptile thing going to them. I think that's what I always called them, but they weren't reptiles or whatever. I don't know. They had like the scales on them, like you could actually feel it on the shoe. It came off the shoe. It was green and like a translucent, and it had gold on it.
Yeah, the second Christmas Kobe ate.
That's what it is. I don't know why that was a Christmas shoe. It just reminded me of a snake, and okay. So yeah, he had those, and I think my grandfather might have came down here and threw out a bag of shoes, and I think they were in there. He has a bunch of Kobe's, like some high purple ones he had, purple and gold ones. He had a bunch of the ones that look like they're going for a pretty penny right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, that? Okay.
That's weird because, like being an actual Laker fan and a Kobe fan, being able to get Laker Kobe's for dirt. Laker Kobe's, like nobody would want a purple, white and purple and gold shoe if you weren't a
Yeah.
fan. So those colorways always went on sale, and now those are the ones that are worth the most, are the Laker colorways. So
yeah.
so we got another question here. What's your favorite Jordan 1 mid?
Wait. My favorite mid.
I'm gonna show mine too.
I don't know. Jordan 1 mid, my favorite. Nope, that's a high. That's a women's high. And you know what? I'm not even gonna say, you see, I was just gonna pull a fearless. I was gonna say I'm not gonna say that in me fearless. That's not my favorite. Like I love that shoe. I love it to death, but it is not my favorite.
Another one then. This is an older one, but to me it still counts as a mid. I love these. They're a little dusty. So
I just got one that it's because I have the beetroot. Okay, yep. I got the high one of that one. I don't have the original like that one for the mid. But That beetroot, that is one of my favorite ones.
Okay. What the same?
Uh,
All the gold stuff on it?
yeah, it's got the gold.
Like
That's one of my favorite ones. And then the I was trying to see what I just did with it because all my mids are right here. But there's a green one that I just got too.
with the,
That I am in love with that shoe. Huh?
does it have like pink laces?
It doesn't have pink laces. It's where is that? That's the light bulb.
It's up there too, just the all white mid. You know what I'm saying? I love these. So
Man, where did it go? Oh man, I don't know. It's a women's release too. I can't even see behind me.
this one too. So I had a couple of mids in the cut.
I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this shoe. Oh my god.
I thought it was the because my wife just got some. They're mids and they're like white or not even white. They're sail olive green, but they came with like pink laces.
Are the laces pink?
Yeah, I think that was one of the pair. There's a name for them, but I can't think of it.
Yes, it is, and it's driving me crazy right now that I can't because I was all on that shoe because it released and I didn't get it, and then the resale was just like I was like, you know what, I'm not paying that for that, and it just recently restocked on Nike, and I got it, and I thought I was gonna die. My son came running down the stairs. I'm like, oh my god, I got it. They like, what are you talking about? And they be like, my kids be like, a shoe? I'd be like, they'd be like, eh. Let's see. Oh my god. But yep, Dutch green. There it is.
Yeah, no.
Ah, that's it. It's gonna drive me nuts had I not found this shoe. Yes. I guess the laces are pink. I don't know why I didn't realize that. I don't know. It's the green for me. Like these right here. I love this shoe. I don't know. I love this shoe. Absolutely love it. I don't know. The colors go together. They great. I love it.
I don't know if you remember the tag.
Yep.
Got a couple. I got love for the kids, man.
Yeah, man, they come out with some great colors, and I know people say, you know, the quality on them is crappy, but they have done a lot better. It's like hit or miss with a mid, whether the quality is going to be there, you know. So, in the low, white and tan, perforate. You know what? I got those. I that was another one I just hit on, and I was like, like I got all excited. I'm like, listen, that's what I need right there. I just got those, and the ones that are corduroy, they're like a peach color.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say they're peach with the little light tan on them and stuff like that. Yeah, they're very dope.
yeah. Barnhouse Kicks talking about the FaceTasm. That was a good one. I actually want the FaceTasm Converse weapons. That's what I'm looking for, but those only came out in Japan. So
No,
yeah. So
what you say?
nah, Burnhouse Kicks was talking about the FaceTasm Jordan 1, and those are good. I was saying there's a FaceTasm Converse weapon that I want, but it only came out in Japan. I'm still looking for it.
Oh wow, really?
But
And see, that's the other thing. A lot of the '90s I like, they'll come out as Euro releases. You know, so I have to end up finding them, you know, on one of those sites that actually end up because now they got it so where they block it. A lot of those Nikes can't come over here. They won't let them ship to us. So I have to find stores that will still ship to the US with certain ones. So
yeah,
that kind of sucks.
In Clothing. You familiar with In Clothing?
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
They're
Yep.
the only ones I can think of.
I think I hit on the In Clothing is the store. I hit on the I had to get an 8 in that shoe. I ended up getting an 8 and I hit on it.
Oh man,
That was another green shoe. I forget. I buy shoes and then I forget. It's horrible.
let me come out here. It's a little.
That's another reason I be using the unbox app. It'll be like, wait a minute, what shoe is that? What did I just get?
Yeah. So, um, all right, all right, I follow. So
How to do this?
we'll go to some real basic, like when you first meet a dude and you talking to him, kind of questions with the shoes. So, what's your favorite, color on a shoe?
Blue.
Blue. Okay. Okay.
Oddly enough, I am a Spartan through and through, but damn it, that blue on the on the sneaker just do something.
All right. Okay. What is your favorite shoe?
Concord 11. That is my favorite shoe.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
that is it.
Is that the go-to shoe as well? Where it's like I'm gonna fuck them up today with these. You know what I'm saying? Is that?
Mm-mm. That's a sacred shoe that comes out every now and then, but yeah, I haven't even worn the newest pair yet. I still go to my 2011 pair.
Okay.
If I'm wearing one, it's probably the one I'm gonna wear with the 23 on the back.
Okay. Okay.
That's my pair.
All right. Now,
Um,
what is a shoe that you need to undead stock that's just been sitting that you really need to rock?
a ton.
Well, first one.
Probably this off
Oh, I can't hear you.
UNC off white one. I still have not worn that shoe.
All this time later.
Huh?
All this time later. It's been like 2 years or 3 years. Wow.
Three. Three. Yep. I have not worn that shoe. I just haven't had anywhere. I just figured undead stocking it to go to the grocery store is kind of a waste. Like,
I got you. I got you. Okay. All right. Now, what's a shoe that you won't undead stock?
a shoe, I don't think I own any shoes that I won't actually undead stock.
You wearing everything?
I'm aware it. If I get it when I finally get around to it, I'm aware it. I do have a point to it's like I said, working from home and stuff like that, and then where I work, you can't wear sneakers to work. So my place where I get to wear sneakers is, if my son has a football game, I'm gonna show out. I'm gonna wear a pair out there. I unds my shoes when I go to his games or whatever, his football games. If I go when I leave to go somewhere, like, that's kind of when I do it. Uh, like sometimes I'll even just, if I'm not going anywhere, but I need to make sure I need to post and keep up my IG or whatever, I'll dead stock a pair just to get dressed and take a picture, and then I'm back in my Crocs again. I'll walk around outside and that's it. And it does it. The biggest thing for me why I have so many DS pairs, I am not a fan of lacing sneakers at all. So my ones kind of just stack up and I'm like, ugh. So, if my son will do it for me, then I'll wear a pair. But other than that, I'll just be like, oh my God, do I have to lace these shoes?
Got you. Now, what did you break out today?
I have not been anywhere today. So it is Space Jam Croc Day. That's what it is. Space Jam Croc Day today.
Got
Yeah, I have a go-to pair of shoes. So like if I'm just running somewhere and I want to throw on, like if it's raining, I'm throwing on a pair of shoes, it's my Mars Landing 90s.
Got you.
Yep, that's it. Those bad boys are beat. I mean, I think they're beat, but I ended up getting to the point of where I was like, man, I really wear these shoes a lot. So I bought another pair because they were going for like dirt cheap. So I bought another pair and then I got it and I put them together and I was like, if I wash the laces in these, people ain't even gonna tell. Because it's a darker shoe, so you can't really tell. Like, that's my one bad habit with sneakers. If it's a dark color, then in my head, I tend to wear it a lot more because you can't really tell how beat up it is.
Yeah.
Except for those cement threes I killed. Oh, Jesus, those bad boys are hit.
To me, the Cement 3 is the one of the shoes, though. You could wear it beat up and it's still okay. Like, I've got 4 pairs of black Cement 3s. The 3 of them are beat. So, every
Yeah, that one, I don't know.
yeah, 01 Countdown Pack and 2011 are all beat. The 2018 pair is the pair because I got like the jacket that they made back in the 80s and they retroed the jacket. So if I'm wearing it, I'm coming out like that. I'm gonna come with that. But I used to use the other pairs as snow beaters. So I have about 12 to 15 pairs of Jordans that are beat up that I used to just wear in the snow when I would get tired of wearing boots. That now that I live in North Carolina, I'm not really sure what to do with because it doesn't.
Yeah.
So
Right.
but I feel it. I have a pair of Royal Ones that are near dead stock that are covered in glitter. You know how that happens with the glitter. But then I have a pair that's not beat, but they've been worn a lot that are kind of like my throw on shoes. Like, so they're both from 2017, but the other pair looks like it could have been from 13 or something, as much as I've worn. So
Got you.
I feel you on it. Now, I got to ask you, what's the shoe that everybody loves that you just don't fuck with?
Yeezys.
Says that. Everybody says that when I ask that.
Yeezys. Yep. I would say everybody love it, and I do not own a pair of Yeezys.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty good.
No. Yeah. I mean, you know, like either it's the model doesn't really sit with me. I know people say they're comfortable or whatever, but it's never seemed to be one of those models where it's the model and the colorway hit me together. Like I don't know. It's just something I haven't gotten. Like at first it was a lot more of the whole, you know, like Kanye type of deal. I'm like, me kind of weird and out there. But I mean, me buying the shoe isn't gonna make or break him. But I did see one that I kind of liked recently, but I just couldn't get it. I guess because I'm not in the little, you know, analog for being one of the ones that actually purchased a pair. Hard to get a pair if you never had a pair. So it is what it is.
I mean, owning both Nike and Adidas Yeezys myself, I get it. I'm lucky and I've known people and been able to get, but a lot of it is hype. But I'm only trying to buy the hype that I like. The 750 when it came out, a lot of people didn't like it. The zippers, it is a hard to wear shoe. It's hard for me to wear, but I liked it so much where I had to have it. But I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah. So I just never. There's never been a pair to the point of I like it enough to where I'm gonna pay resale for it.
Yeah.
That's probably it too, because they just kind of expensive anyway, just on a regular retail price anyway.
Yeah, I mean, regular pair of 350s is what 220, which I mean, from our era, that's expensive. It's like a regular shoe.
Yeah,
From our era.
yeah, but that's for a man. Like that's kind of around y'all norm though, that y'all would pay for what 190 for a Jordan. You know, like, huh?
But you know, I'm
Yeah,
the
but
way.
you know, I have my son. He wears a size 11 and a half. So I still know what it's like when people be like, "Oh, you wear grade school. You have to worry about these problems." I'm like, I got a 17-year-old football playing kid over here that, you know, he's not huge into sneakers like that, but when he want a pair, you know, I got to make it happen because he's not huge into sneakers. So if he asking for something, he kind of want it. But his thing now, you know, with these kids, they I don't know what his problem is. If I see one more pair of Balenciagas, I'ma cry because I can't stand that shoe.
See, I'm fortunate where like my son is 13. He's in an 11. He is not into sneakers like me or his mother, but he wants to look nice. So he
Right.
still has a little rotation. But I still think he'd rather have the V-Bucks or some sort of game shit over the sneakers. Where
Yeah, my 11-year-old definitely.
you know, but I feel fucked up telling y'all this, but it's just true. Since we can wear the same shoe now, it's like shoes that he has that I'm waiting him out for him to get to like size 13, so I could just take those pairs. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm planning it
I
out.
did the same thing when my son grew out of a 6. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Here go these LeBron Sprites over here. Those are not my shoes originally. Those were my son's. And I was like, oh, I can wear these. This is 6. I'm keeping these. These kind of you didn't tear these up. These mine now. So
Yeah, like it's about 4 pairs that I got him. Where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get these. Hopefully, he doesn't destroy them. And my son is pretty good with shoes, so you know, he had a pair of all white Forces that were a 9.5 before he had his growth spurt that I was able to resell for like $60 on Macari because he didn't fuck them up. You know, I'm like, man,
yeah, like I got a pair of Space Jams that's a size 8. I'm not gonna toss them out or anything. He can't wear them, but
yeah,
he barely wore them. So it was just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna let these sit around. Maybe your brother might be big enough to wear an 8. I don't know. He's kind of small, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, hey, listen. I feel like if you got kids and they ain't beating these shoes to death, by all means, clean them up, wear them, keep them. Why not? It's your money anyway.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's your shoe. You pay for it.
yeah. That's a good way to put it. Good way to put it. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So I guess now I've got to ask you, with you having as many sneakers as you have, when you are stepping out, you know, you going out with a dude or whatever, what's that date night shoe for you?
It depends on what I'm wearing. I'm like I said, I'm a super casual person. So even if I go out, when I do go out, it just all depends. Whatever, it's fall season. That's my year. That's my time. Fall, winter is my time. So that's when I put on my sweaters and my sneakers. Like I think what I just went out on a date. So I had on I don't know if you saw the picture, but that was my Supreme with the blue, and then I had on the blue chills. So I
I,
wore those. Like
I'll be seeing.
yeah, yeah, I'm like super casual. I'm gonna be myself regardless. I'm never really like the dress up, getting the dress to go out and heels and all. I don't like to hurt. So don't, a good pair of heels won't make your feet hurt, but at the same time, like went to my brother's wedding, I'm like, oh, okay, wearing a dress, I gotta throw on some heels. But please believe I did wear my gym shoes for the reception. So
Was that when you were all
it wasn't.
made up? I saw the picture where you was all made. Okay.
Yeah.
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 That
Yeah.
made the
People
flyer.
don't get to see that me often.
Yeah, I was gonna use that for the flyer, but I'm like, nah, that doesn't really. Because I can tell just by following you, I'm like, that's not how you always come. At least when I see you post, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, so yeah. So, um, okay, okay. Now, what's your hardest L that you've ever had to take?
My hardest L to take would be the recent, well, not gonna say it's recent. I guess it is recent. The Spartan Dunk low. That was it the low? Nope, it was the high. I'm sorry, it was the high. Spartan Dunk high. Yep. That was the hardest one I took. And it's only because like this store, a local store, um, had put out that, they were gonna be selling the shoe and it was gonna be first come, first serve. So the day before, I was in the store. I was kind of in there right before closing, checking out the store, just asking, hey, can we wait outside? Can we do this? Whatever, whatever. And I saw that somebody actually had bought the shoe. Like the guy was standing in the store, the special bag and everything in the store. Like he had just like backdoored a pair. So I'm like, okay. So they're like, yeah, so whatever the case. So whatever happened, they were like, oh, things changed. They got changed. So now we have to raffle them off. And he was like, oh, just put in for the raffle, whatever, whatever. Like this is all occurring while I'm in the store. So I'm like, okay, so do a little raffle, whatever. But I'm still pissed because I understand you get to do this shoe now. Like, okay, all right, we're gonna do this. So when I called to find out about the shoe, um the guy pretty much I'm trying to remember what happened. Um Whatever they told me when I was in the store, when I called back was something completely different again. And he was like, no, nobody would have told you that, blah, blah, blah. And I think I was more so pissed that he made it seem like I was lying about it than me not getting the shoe. And that just put a salty taste in my mouth about it altogether. Because I was like, at that point, I was like, I can buy the shoe resale if I want it. I just literally never bought that shoe because it just put a salty taste in my mouth about the whole incident that occurred. So I think that was like the most I've ever been pissed about a shoe ever. And I guess it wasn't really the shoe itself, more so the situation. But yeah, I don't think I've ever went back to that. I've never been back to that store. And no, I've never bought anything else from that store.
You care to share the name of the store?
Uh, no, I don't want to put the store out there because a lot of people do. It's a popular store. It's not like a big Foot Locker or anything like that. It's a smaller, only here type of store. So I don't want to put it's a black owned store. I wouldn't want to.
You made it obvious now what it is.
Well, not necessarily because there are a lot here. There are a lot of smaller stores here. So it's
Okay.
just it's there. I mean,
All right.
if you care to look, you can find my rant. So
All right.
now I did drop names then, but I mean, bygones be bygones, throw it away, whatever it is.
I think every city has a store like that. Like I used to work for the store in Cleveland like that, where
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot of foolery and just stuff like that. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My hardest sell was the Flint 13. Now, I have every other Flint 13 that's released. I have a pair from 98, a pair from '05, a pair from 10, but I needed that 20 because I wanted to do a comparison video for my YouTube channel. Now, that's a shoe, because I've been able to get it every other time, and I still feel like Jordan should only be $150.
Right.
I refuse to pay resale for that shoe. Like that's a shoe I refuse to pay for it. But it was the first shoe in the pandemic that I couldn't get because I always say, and I've told the story several times on the show, you could get the Court Purple ones, you could get the DMP sixes, you could get the Silver Tongue Fire Red fives. But once that Flint 13 came out, everything was different. It was the one shoe that, because how you think, oh, well, this full family, it's going to be a million pairs of them bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
The fact that I was unable to get them, because I was still working for Foot Locker at the time, but the store I was working at was closed because we were in a dead mall, and the mall was literally falling apart, caving in, all kinds of crazy shit. So the city we were in wouldn't let the mall open, so I didn't do any extra footwork because I just assumed that somebody from Foot Locker was out, and they didn't. So I took an L on sneakers, and I still don't have the newest retro of them because I refuse to pay more than $190 for it. I really don't even want to pay
It's just some shoes, like, I know like how people look at the Flint 13, but like I'm like that. Like I love 13s, but I'm like that with my 13s. I feel like people don't respect enough the 13 enough.
Oh, I think you froze. I can't hear you. Let me wait for a second here. Fuck. All right, y'all. Just 1 second. We'll get the show back going in a sec. Appreciate you, Burn House Kicks. It looks like we may have lost our guest momentarily. I appreciate everybody who has watched the show, who are still in here now. I'm not sure what is going on. Damn, this sucks. Not much, Tez. What's going on? I'm not really sure what to do. I've lost my guest. Let me see if we can get her back.
What time is it? Over. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what just happened.
It's all good. It's all good. You were saying you didn't think people respect the 13. That was the last thing I heard.
Yeah, I just think like I feel like I should always be able to get a 13 for retail. Like because people don't respect it like they would do, say, a 1 or things like that. Like it's always been a shoe that would sit even now, like, so why is it when the Flint 13 drop, all of a sudden not everybody want a 13 and it's selling out, and somebody like you who's had all of them, you don't end up getting a pair, and now you gonna pay resale for it? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, I love the 13. For one, the 13 will always be special to me because it's the first Jordan I ever bought with my own money. 1997 was my first job. I was a sales associate at TJ Maxx, Woodmere, Ohio. But yeah, I worked all the way up until the white, black, and red 13s came out. I bought them, and then I quit because I was in 11th grade. I didn't give a fuck. So yeah,
Right.
so yeah, I mean, I still have that pair. You know, I still have all my OG 13s, and I have all of them in retro form as well. So it's one of the shoes where I usually get them every time they come out. Like, I didn't get the last black and red 13 because it was made so poorly. It was when I was sports. It was just awful. Like the shape, the quality, it was just bad. But generally, every time a 13 comes out, that's an original colorway. But I just can't believe that I was unable to get them. And I agree with you on that. You know, now everybody wants 13s and the whole,
Right.
you know. But I'm gonna say this, and I know you're gonna look at me crazy. 12s and 13s have been ruined have been ruined for me by hood niggas.
Pretty much.
You know, especially 12s. If it's
12, I was 12 more than 13.
yeah. Like I wore my white red 12s yesterday, and I felt good because I know, like, well, I know ain't nobody gonna have these. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if 2009, I don't know why they haven't retroed, but any other 12. The taxi is sort of like that too, where I'm like, I don't think anybody's gonna have the taxis. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Still in good shape. But like the black and red ones,
Yeah.
those are from 16, so they're a little more recent. So you still see niggas with those, but those fucking black and yellow ones, man. Like when I left Cleveland, like every hood nigga in Cleveland had them with the fucking Pirates jersey and the hat.
Yes. They ruined that. I think I've worn that probably once or twice. Just for that reason, that I'm so sick of seeing people wear it. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay.
It's sort of like that with the 9 too, but the 12 is.
Yeah, but the 12 is more so than that 9, because I have the 9 and I've never worn the 9.
Yeah, and I feel like it's been that way ever since the Master 12. That Master 12 and that white and pink 12 that came out for y'all. That kind of changed everything, because that's the all-time greatest.
Because I ain't seen more hood rats in that white and pink 12. And
yeah, like when my wife wanted them, I couldn't believe that she wanted them. Like, you want these? So, yeah, it was crazy. But that Master was like the all-time, the greatest tax Jordan of all time. Because there's Jordan every year. You and I know that.
So. Yep. And that's what it is. Because they drop them right around tax time. And that's why they have some, that's why they have them. That's where they're at. People, that's when people want to spend their money on the J's, because they got their little tax money and got to wait till they run out. You'd be like, good grief.
Because I'll say it, as far as Jordans, you may not agree with me on this, but deep down, I still really don't feel like the hood fucks with ones.
No.
Nah. You might see some girls. You might
right.
kids, but hood niggas don't fuck with ones.
No.
To me, hood niggas only fuck with the Black Cement 3.
It's certain ones. Like, and
3 was kind of big in the hood a little bit. If that UNC 3 would have been a full family, it would have been a hood shoe.
It would have been everywhere. It would have been a hot mess.
So
a total hot mess.
But we talked about twos. Only old people like us and sneakerheads wear twos.
Yep, wear twos.
4, 5, 6 kind of could go either way. The 7 and the 8 are kind of like the 2, where old dudes, sneakerheads.
Yep.
9.
That 4 is getting there though, because I don't buy as many 4s as I used to for that reason.
Even with all the cool colors and women's colors, huh?
Huh?
Even with all the cool women's and grade school colorways. Okay.
Nope. The only thing that really got me excited about the 4 is when they changed it back for grade school to look like the men's pair, the original pair again. So yeah, because I had my 4s and it was things like that. But one thing I would get sick of is people who didn't really know about shoes telling me, "Oh, those aren't the real 4s," because they didn't know that the grade school was made different than the original pairs before. So like.
Pre-midsole.
Let's see. Whole box I haven't opened yet, but These.
Mm-hmm. Well, that 3 midsole.
Just horrible. And my Toros are like that. It's just like, you wish, they just would have not done that. I have no idea why they changed it, but I'm glad they changed it back.
Yeah, I think that Motorsport, that white, black, and blue was the first one
Yep.
that had the regular midsole.
Yep.
We do have a question. How y'all feel about the upcoming cool gray? I'm assuming that means the 11. I'm gonna just say I think that when Jordan 11s aren't original colorways, they should have the banana shape like the retros have, and the OGs should have the taller.
The taller shape. Yeah, I'm excited about it coming out because I never had it. I ended up copping that shoe for my now 11-year-old when he was 1. So for me, it's a little like I got his little picture in his gray little velour jumpsuit or whatever. He was 1 standing next to the one with the ones on. So I'm excited about the shoe coming out because I like when my kids had a shoe when they were young and in retros and they're older, so I can take a picture on them and we can have a shoe and stuff like that. So for that, I actually never got it that year. So he's like right here. I'm like, if you tap me, I'm gonna turn around. He's like, why'd you stop talking? You tapped me. So yeah, that's it. I'm excited about it for that reason. That now I'll be able to add it to the collection. I didn't have it before. He had it. I did the same thing with my oldest when the 13s dropped. When the black and red 13s dropped. Little shoe, little fella, and now he like 6 feet tall and all this other. I'm like, oh look, here's, and I'm like, he's like, Mom, it's so embarrassing, but for that reason. And I do have just about every other 11 that came in my size except for the cool gray and the gamma. So yeah, I need that to retro because I refuse to pay that much for a shoe that's that old, and I get it and then it just the patent leather just sticks to my foot or something.
Yeah, like my wife still has her gammas. Our son was in a 2.5 at the time, so I don't know. She may still have his pair too, but I was the only one in the house that didn't have them. I just didn't see it. I was pumped that the taxi had came out the week before.
Yep, and that's what ended up happening.
Because that was definitely the worst shoe release I ever ran was that taxi. But the Gamma was kind of uneventful. That Gamma 12 was awful though. You remember the Gamma 12?
Yeah. Yes, I do because I actually purchased that shoe. So not for myself, for my then husband. So he actually has that shoe, and now every time I see him in it, I want to set his foot on fire. But
that's real.
I want to be like, I should have got myself that shoe. Should have got it for my damn self. But yeah.
That was the interesting 2013. That year was just nothing but bad shoe releases every time. And as a store manager, I used to just be like, oh God, I hope nobody fights, nobody gets hurt. You know what I mean? Just because like the Bel Airs, the Fair Pack, all of that shit came out in 2013. Grapes, the playoff 8s, the green glows, the Toros, black.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted those green glow 4s. I did want those. What's up, Ryan?
Yeah.
Hey, let Tay tell it. What's up, Tay?
Yeah. Okay. So I do have to ask now, how does, because you told me, a little bit about your upbringing. So your family is, cool with your relationship with sneakers.
Yeah. I'm gonna say they'll tell me you buying some more sneakers, you buying other shoes. My grandfather always telling me I need to put some fertilizer in my shoes because there is no way my feet should be that small. But they'll say, stuff like you buying another pair of sneakers, but then I gotta come back because I'd be like, you about to play the lottery again today for the second time today, midday and evening? What you doing? You about to go to the casino? What? And then they'd be like, oh, whatever. But I'd be like, I always come back, would you rather me spend this money on crack? I don't know what you want me to do.
I always like that my dad was into sports and sneakers. So for me, I was a greedy kid where it's like I had the Jordans, but I wanted the Barclays, I wanted the Gary Paytons, like I wanted everything. Because I was rich kids that had it like that, where it's like, damn, you got the Air Maxes too. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
being, you know how it was between sports and product placement, where they were having shoes with celebrities, Martin, Will Smith, Jerry Seinfeld, Tim the Toolman Taylor, all of them had the J's.
Right. Yep. Yep.
J's. It's like, damn, I need these bitches. I need these Bordeaux 7s. You know, I need them. So on my early 90s preteen and teenage mind, it just manifested into me having way more shoes than I'll ever need. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Yeah, definitely.
But I guess my question is, you know, with you having said that, do they ever ask you when you're gonna stop? And are you ever gonna stop?
Mm-mm. They've never asked me when I'm gonna stop. Like my mom, she'll be like, "You don't need to buy another pair of shoes," blah 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 blah. But for some reason, let her be out of town and she hit a Nike outlet and she all I see is a picture coming through. Do you like these? And it what? That's you supporting my habit. I don't understand, but you know, it's just kind of stuff like that. Like they don't, you know, I don't mismanage money to buy sneakers. It's just like, oh well, don't you want to do something else? I'm like, what else am I gonna do? I save money, you know. I don't have to like I'm you know, everybody's situation is different. So with me, I don't have a car note. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have, you know, things like other people are doing. My house is paid for. So, you know, I'm just like there are things that allow me to be able to spend more. So when people are saying that like they're like, "Oh, she rich." I'm like, "Yeah, no. You probably have a mortgage and a car note." Like most that well, okay, now I have a car note. Now that I think about it. Just bought my son a car. So that doesn't count. But I mean, as far as, you know, the typical things, you know, stuff like that, you know, I'm really blessed to be able to, you know, like I was gifted a house, you know, like that my not my great grandparents, my grandparents gave me a house. It's like, hey, here you go. Okay. All right. Then people,
Chill.
I'm like,
That's awesome.
people like, when you live in the city, when you moving? Never. Like, there's no reason. I'm good. I'm right here. I'm right here. So, you know, it's different. So when people be like, "Oh, she rich," I'm like, no, I just don't have to do a lot of things that other people do with their money. And I'm fortunate to have a, you know, a decent job that I work at, you know, things like that. So, you know, it just is what it is. But no, I don't think I plan on stopping. Like I said, I really just got grooving like, you know, maybe 5 years ago now. So it's just kind of like for me, it's still, you know, I'm expanding into new things, you know, shoes that I got when I was younger that kind of faded out here that was only in Euro, but now they're starting to come back, like the Diodoras and things like that, you know, and the Pumas and Sauconys and things like that, you know. So where I used to be really Jordan focused, like now it's like, okay, Dunks and things like that and other brands. I bought a brand I don't think anybody's probably ever even heard of just because I like the shoe. And it's like a Denmark sportswear company. I I don't know. It's got like I was like, my shoe got chinchilla on it. Dang. But I like the shoe. Like I said, I'll buy something if I like it. I don't know, you know, like I said, I've never heard of the shoe. I just happened to see it on Extra Butter and I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat shoe. Picked it up, I bought it. So yeah, things like that, like the Elise, things like that. Like that stuff I used to rock when I was a kid. My mom would buy for me, you know. And then I didn't realize, you know, the type of people that was rocking stuff like that because I was a kid, but I was like,
Yeah,
huh,
dope boy shoe.
you out here, you got your kid in the dope kid shoe.
Yeah, yeah.
Who you know? Grandma gonna get you.
I appreciate, you know, us being from the same era because I remember that. I remember when people, you know, the dope boys had the Elise and the Lottos and the Fila,
Yep.
British Knights,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Troops.
Yep. I remember I used to love me some BKs too, man. Like that was my shoe. My favorite Fila was the Fila M Squad. Like, oh, I saw that shoe retro, but it didn't come in my size. It only dropped out for me, and I was so upset about it. And I was like, even to this day, I'm just still like, I'm still watching for it. Like maybe they'll, you know, retro it again in smaller sizes because it wasn't too long ago. I think I want to say it was a few years ago. that they dropped the M Squad in men's.
Okay.
And I was actually flirting with actually buying a men's pair just so I could have it for the nostalgia of it. Because, it's just a shoe I remember having. My parents got divorced. I had to go to Alabama for the summer. And my shoe got dirty, and my dang on grandma put it in the washing machine. Lord Jesus, I ain't had no sole. The sole separated. I was like, listen, I cried and cried and cried. So, yeah.
Happened later. Oh man, I hate that happened. Okay. Well, before we go to the next segment, so we got just a few more. I have to ask you what your holy grail is. A shoe that you've never been able to get, that you've never been able to hold, that you still are looking for.
Um,
Or is there one?
I don't think I have one. A shoe that I have just not been able to get that's like a holy grail. Like, because the thing is, I could buy it. I just haven't yet. Like, some shoes, they're just to the point of where I'm like, I don't know if I just ever want to spend that much money on a shoe. Like the Union ones, those are some nice shoes. But like I said, I wear 6. So am I gonna pay $1,700 for it just because it's a nice shoe? Probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, yeah, it's to that point where it's not like a grail for me. It's a nice shoe. If I have it, I have it. If I don't, I don't. So I don't think there's anything that's come about. Probably other than that Gamma 11 though, because like I said, I'm an 11 head. So um that shoe I just haven't gotten it. I wish I had gotten it a while ago. To where it probably still would have been in a decent condition, and I could have, not worried about, it falling apart on me, depending upon however who had it was keeping it stored or whatever. But because, they may have it dead stock, but that doesn't mean they took great care of it. So, yeah, I don't know. Like even that, I could still get it if I wanted it. It's just nothing that I think I would, I don't think that I can think of right now, right off top.
Okay. All right. Now, this next segment is very short, but it's just kind of like a lightning round, kind of before the end. So, um, something new I'm trying. So you got to give me your top 5 pairs that you own.
Top 5 pairs that I own.
Shout out to everybody joining. I didn't get to say hello to the last crop of people that came in here. Shout out to you.
Um, Top 5 pairs that I own. Oh, okay. So there's definitely the Concords are in there.
Figure as much.
Those my babies. Um, my Air Max One Susans. I love, love, love those shoes. That I own. Okay, the only shoe I've ever
Oh, I can't.
popular woman right now.
Okay.
Nobody ever calls me, but when I do one of these, it seems like everybody want to talk to me, like they know I'm doing something. Um, those my Boba Fett, yes, my Boba Fett top 10s. Those are like one of my favorite shoes. That my UNC off-white ones, that was like a big deal for me to hit on. And I would say probably another top favorite of mine would be my French Blue 12s.
Okay. So we got Concord 11, French Blue 12, Boba Fett top 10s, Susan Air Max 1s, and what was the other shoe?
French Blue 12s.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, those are some of my top favorites.
Okay. All right. The last question, right quick before we start to wrap it up, is if you could retro any shoe that hasn't been retro, what would it be?
That 90. That World 90. Yeah.
Which one?
Let's see, I don't even have a picture of it. I used
Or,
to have a picture of it because I didn't have a shoe.
yeah, the Warhawk. Okay.
Yeah, yep. That 90, that would be it. that if I can, I guess if you want to say a grail shoe, that because you can't really get that without it being completely crumbled for the most part.
That is
But that would be it.
okay.
That would be it. Anything else, like over anything else, if somebody offered me that, like if you talking like if I could get that, or even say the Travis Scott one back again, it would be that 90. That 90 would be it. So yeah, yeah. Now that I think about it, like I said, it'd take me a minute, but now that I think about it, that would be it. That shoe was like everything. That shoe was dope.
Okay, cool. All right, so just two more questions.
Uh-huh.
What direction? Well, three. What direction do you see your collection going in the future?
Okay, so for me, I have um been trying kind of away from Jordan, just off of the sheer, the quality of the shoe, you know, things like that, the way that, they're marketing it, and, the difficulty of getting the shoe. So like it's caused me to look out at other brands and venture off into, the Sauconys, and, I like Converse. I'm big on those too. I like Converse. So, I go towards my Converse because those are, typically easier to get, and people don't really mess with Converse. I mean, they do, but they don't, it's kind of one of those things. So like I like stuff like that. And yeah, just more so Puma. Like I kind of just ventured off into different brands. I see my collection of other brands getting larger, and probably being actually larger than this. Because even with my New Balances, I picked up a couple new pair of New Balances, and I'm like, oh, these sweet. Like I'm a 574 fanatic when it comes to New Balance. It's like again, I am 41, so I need that comfort along with it. So, but I do see those are starting to become kind of a thing now with people. I'm like,
Yep.
okay, here we go. Now everybody after my grandma's shoe. Come on now. But yeah, that's where I do see, like right now, like my purchases I have kind of ventured toward that more so than the Jordans.
Okay. What's on your radar next, release wise?
Release wise, this month really doesn't have anything coming up for me. So I'm thinking in my future, like I said, I'm the 11s. I always buy an 11. So yes, of course, the animal print 11, I am going to do that. Those patent leather ones coming out. Yes, that's a thing right there. That's a thing.
Oh, the black.
Huh? Yep, the black and red one. Yep. Uh-huh. The Bordeaux one. I like that shoe a lot. Um, I still need to go back and I do need to go back and get that Bordeaux 13. I don't have that. I think about it. I was thinking about that the other day. I was looking at it. Um, so those are a few things that are on my radar. Not much. This year seems to be so far, the 11s, those cool grays. I am gonna go ahead and grab those. But like I said, a lot of things are more towards the end of the year, and I'm kind of just nothing's really caught my eye yet coming up recent.
Gotcha. Well, before we wrap up, did you have any questions for me?
I did, and I just lost it because I wanted to know, like, what is your girl shoe that you don't have?
I posted them. It's been within the last 2 days. These the Air Max 294. It's never.
Okay,
It's white, teal, and gray. I'll send you a picture of it. Once this ends, you'll remember them when you see them. But
okay.
um, it's really that. I mean, there's a few other shoes that I passed on foolishly, but between those, the Espo Air Force 2s, with the clear, with the socks, I've never been able to hold those. The High Top Stash Air Force 1s, um, Kashima Air Max 97 with the cement print like the threes. Just a
Oh, you got some good ones.
Yeah, and I could have had most of these, not all of them. I didn't never have a chance to get the Espos or those Air Maxes, but some of the others I could have gotten, foolishly didn't. But that's really those Air Maxes are number one though. I'm gonna send you a picture of them.
Okay, okay. And I think that's only because like shoes like that, you're used to them being available. Like people don't really know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you could have got them, you kind of probably did that one weight thing, and then it turned into what else things like, wait, they were available. What happened? Like, dang, I should have got that, and then it was just kind of like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's happened to me a couple times though. That's happened to me quite a few times.
I,
Yeah.
Jordan wise, I've always wanted a pair of black and red ones from '85, but I have the neutral gray from '85, so I'm gonna just ride out with that.
Did you get the retro of that?
I tried. So, but yeah, I mean that's really it as far as grails. It's just those few. I mean, I've always wanted the Warhawk '92. The guy, I don't know if he's still in here, Gold Tank Dog, that was asking some of the questions. He's the only person I know that has a pair of those. So,
Oh wow.
you know, so yeah, it's been a shoe I've always liked as well. So, um, but yeah, so anything else?
What do you plan on picking up?
This year, just the white and blue sixes. I need a new pair of those, and my cool gray 11s are the first pair. So the bottom is damn near orange. If we were still in my Jordan closet, I would show them. But
Damn, they're orange.
yeah, yeah, you know.
Dang.
But yeah, that's really it. I mean, I'm looking more at reach backs since I work for Converse. I've been looking at a lot of vintage but wearable, you know, Converse from the 70s and 80s that nobody's gonna have at work. Um, and Converse random collabs because Nike, since Nike owns Converse, I feel like with collaborators they make them touch a Converse before they touch a Jordan or Air Max. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um, just a few things like that, but nothing really real. I'm looking forward to more reachbacks, random stuff I find on Gold or eBay or Macari,
yeah,
Poshmark,
yeah.
as opposed to the new releases. So, oh, the LeBron 19. I got to get the LeBron 19. So,
The 19.
yeah,
See, they went back to where I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be good. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
I really appreciate you being a part of this. I've followed you for a very long time, and I'm a fan, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me.
Of course, of course. I'm always available when people like, hey, you want? I'm like, you want me? Heck yeah! You just say when. You just say when. I'll be there. You know what you're talking about. Heck yeah.
Yeah. We definitely got to do this again.
Yeah, let me know. Like I said, I'm always available to hang out. Like I like this interface. Like that's kind of why I don't really do my YouTube too much because I like to have a back and forth conversation instead of just talking at people. So I'm hoping to revive that and I got some things in the works that I want to do for that. So I'll keep you posted.
And if you need me to be on something, I'm
And that's why I'm gonna keep you posted.
well, look, I'm gonna definitely be in touch. Might be like, man, what you think about these or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you may get a DM from me, and I'm gonna send you those Air Maxes.
Okay, yeah, do that because I want to see those. I'm excited to see that.
Sure, for sure. Well,
All right.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks to the chat and everybody that asked questions. I appreciate you all. All right.
All right, I'll be in touch with you.
All right, later.
All right.